Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live stream AMA. It's going to be really fun. We're going to talk all things stacked if you didn't get the vibe from the cover photo of the live stream. I'm hyped. That's why I chose that intro, because I'm like hyped on stacked and like in what's going on internally, but also on caffeine. And then also I got a new desk. Literally it arrived hours ago. So now you see why my ceiling always looks sloped from another perspective. How exciting. So it's a big day. We're going to have lots of fun. If you have any questions, throw them in the YouTube live chat or the Twitter live chat. And also, I have some stacked themed UGCs to hand out, which is really fun. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to give out a few hundred of these things. So make sure you're in game. Actually, no, wait. I need all of you to refresh your game right now, because we literally migrated it to production 10 minutes ago, which means if you haven't refreshed in a while, you're not going to see it. So refresh. And then, yeah, we're going to have a good time. And let's bring up Luke.
Hey everybody. Yeah, no, today's an exciting day because basically it's going to be the last day of May before Stacked is out. I'm not supposed to say the official date when it comes out because we're kind of prepping for the launch now, but it's very, very soon.
The last AMA before Stacked comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, my face looks shiny.
It's a new highlighter from...
Yeah. So here's what you can expect over the next week. And in this AMA. So in this AMA, one more time, we'll go over what Stacked is. We'll show you guys what to expect. And I kind of want to explain to you guys the go-to-market strategy with it also, and kind of explain to you guys what the first week might look like, what the first month might look like, what this means for Pixel and the ecosystem, right? It's questions that we talked about and answered a few times, but I just want to reiterate a little bit so that everybody understands and is on the same page. Because, why we even bring this up in these AMAs, instead of just like going off and having it do its own thing, is because it does really affect, and it is a part of the Pixel ecosystem, the Pixels game and everything that you guys have been following along for the last 4 years, right? So how I like to describe Stack to people is it's kind of all of the lessons that we've learned here at Pixels wrapped into one product and um, wrapped into like one package basically. And yeah, we talked about it 4 times in a row right now because here's the journey and the explanation and like why we've come here and like what we've been doing. So when we started Pixels, what was it like 4.5, 5 years ago?
Wild.
The thing that was the most interesting to me was the economics of play to earn in Web3 gaming, right? And as we've been building a Web3 game and doing it live, what we found is, the beginning stages of building a Web3 game, literally just launching a Web3 game when it came to the technical aspect was very difficult. Actually integrating a token or an NFT into a game, it used to be much harder than it is now. Like the withdraw deposit functionality, the like reading the blockchain, interacting with Web3 APIs, that was extremely hard in the beginning stages. It took most teams just to get that technical infrastructure up like a year or two to build that, right? The Pixels team, we did it in like 4 to 6 months. That's because the team is very technical. Um, we kind of built the team with tech first in mind. The first 4 hires of the team, every single engineer, or not like first 4 technical hires on the team, every single engineer was an ex CTO of a venture backed company, right? And they came to Pixels because they believed in what we were doing, they believed in Web3 gaming, and the talent density was very dense, right? Which is great. So as we were building Pixels, the first part was getting the tech stack ready. Then, as we started to actually have a live Web3 game, what we started to run into was figuring out how to make reward systems work. We have the thesis the um, and the strong um, we have a strong feeling that basically every Web3 game will run into the same problems. When you start adding in ownership layers into a Web3 game, what happens is you turn the Web3 game, or the game doesn't even have to be a Web3 game, into a play to earn game, whether you like it or not, right? You see this even with Web2 MMOs, where a lot of Web2 MMOs tend to be play to earn ish as well. Like, for example, RuneScape, there's a lot of gold farmers in that game, right? Same thing with WoW, same thing with most MMOs that start to have a real money economy associated with it. And when you start to add in the Web3 elements into the game, it becomes 10 times worse, essentially. So when you're building a Web3 game, really you're starting to face a new problem. You're actually starting to face a problem of incentive alignment. And you start to face a problem that plagues all of Web3 and is really it's almost like an NP hard problem, right? If you're familiar with like computer science problems. But basically, the act of building a Web3 game makes you face the hardest problem inside of all of crypto, because you have to figure out how to basically make crypto systems work at scale, incentive systems work at scale, and do it in a sustainable way that can make the game last for a long time, right? So that's what Stacked is, and that's kind of the problem set that we walked upon when we were building out Pixels, right? So Stacked basically is a play to earn system where we're allocating rewards to the right people at the right time for the right amount. And it allows us to add Web3 to the games and ownership layers to the games that we wouldn't be able to add to otherwise. If you guys have seen Web3 games come and go, it's because when they start to add an ownership, it's very easy to add ownership into a game, but it's very hard to do it in a way that makes the game last, is fun, not abused, and actually sustainable, right? So that's what we've been working on, and that's kind of what Stacked is in the core of it, right? So Stacked, it's releasing soon.
Soon.
This will be the last AMA that we're just yapping about it before it's out,
Yeah.
basically.
Go follow
And
on Twitter if you haven't yet.
here's yeah, go follow it on Twitter. And here's what to expect from like the few different lenses, right? So if you're a player and you're using Stacked, what does that mean for you? And like how does your experience in pixels change? So we'll do it from a couple different lenses. If you are just a pixels player, Heidi, maybe you can go into pixels and show what the like stacked experience looks like in pixels.
Absolutely. Well, okay, hold on. Before I open the game, follow here, and you can see what the logo, let's call it the icon of stacked is. It's just like this little chips that are stacked together, right? Here's a clear image of what that looks like, right? And this is all in anticipation of showing you the really fun UGC that I have to give out today. So if you are in Terravilla already, you might see it. Hold on, let me zoom properly. Look at this fun like little UGC we have to give out. So eventually it will link to the Stacked website, which is really awesome. Right now, it does link to a website that says Stacked coming soon on it, which is super exciting. But it'll be really cool. So I have a few hundred to hand out. And then, yeah, you guys can place them on your lands, and then you will see you have like a direct link to Stacked in game now, which is super fun. Okay, let me show you what Stacked is like in pixels right now. And actually, the UI is getting a slight little refresh to refine it even more. Today, there will be downtime in like 2 hours for a few minutes. But, oh, shoot, hold on. My Zoom is all crazy. Okay, wait.
So, yeah, on the high level, if you're a pixels player and you don't care about stacked at all, your experience doesn't change. So if you're a pixels player and you just come to play pixels and that's all you care about, and you still like earning a little bit, then stacked is integrated into the game and you don't have to change anything right now. So essentially what stacked is for the pixels player is we're going to be shifting more and more of the rewards to this. Your screen's not up anymore. How do you?
I know, it's because it was being all glitchy because I was sharing.
So we're going to be shifting more and more of the rewards inside of the game, and this whole UX will get a refresh soon into this system. But this system is essentially almost going to be like your new home inside the pixels for all of your earnings. There's already a bunch of it in here, right? And we'll start to transition other systems like task board, like leaderboards, and basically everywhere you earn pixel into this UX. It's all going to collapse into one UX. So if you're a pixels player, you can continue to play pixels and not interact with the official stacked app at all if you really want to, right? And that's how it works on like the game side too. So a game that wants to integrate stacked, they can actually do it silently. They don't need to use the stacked app. They can just have it contained inside of their own game and have it be just a part of their own system and not a part of anything greater, right? There's a bunch of stuff we do with like data privacy and like tenanted data, where essentially that data inside of the game per player stays towards that game and it's not shared with other games directly. And essentially what happens is, for the game experience, if you're just interested solely in that one game, you can play it like normal and earn rewards inside of that game, right? Now, what's happening on the back end is what we've done finally is we've built in tech that helps us understand how players play our games. And we've...
Sorry, the item's not tradable. Let me just yell at our design team. One second. Go off.
So we'll transition basically most of the rewards from stacked into the system. And if you're playing pixels, you'll play pixels normally, just like you would be playing, right? So what we can do on the back end here now finally is a lot of the hard part of building a Web3 game is if you start to have ownership layers into the game, it's going to get farmed and abused, right? Stacked has a lot of stuff that allows us to not give rewards to the players who are, abusing the systems essentially. And how we do that is essentially, one, we have a lot of historical data on how people have played pixels, right? And a lot of what we did in the beginning stages was we did a lot of labeling. And if you guys remember early pixels, we did a lot of bot ban waves, like every few months or every like month or so in pixels, especially in like 2024, we would do a huge ban wave of accounts. And what we were doing then was we were basically doing a lot of labeling of accounts that were bought, not bought, right? So that helps us give anti-fraud signals in place already. And we kind of have a good idea of how to predict if an account will be a bot or not a bot, right? And a lot of what we're doing is we are trying to give out more rewards to the players who deserve rewards, right? And that was a common criticism back in that time period of Pixels, right? Like if you go and follow the discourse around Pixels at that time, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're just giving rewards to bots. I'm a good player and I'm not getting rewards," right? And that actually is going to be the default state of Web3 games if they try to add in ownership layers most of the time, right? There's kind of two ways to approach this, right? So one way inside of Web3 gaming is you can, you know, have a lot of rule-based approaches to giving out rewards. So like, okay, that's kind of a reputation system, a rule-based system, where we make you do a bunch of tasks that are super, super hard to like accomplish in game. They just take a bunch of time, like in our reputation system, right? And it makes the new user experience very difficult, right? So if you want to trade inside of the game right now, if you want to access the marketplace, you need quite a high reputation inside of the game. These are things we actually want to start to ease as we start to integrate Stacked even deeper into Pixels. And we can because we have this tech stack now. So the idea here basically is now that we can have rewards given less to bots, you guys have started to see it if you've been playing the game. We're actually able to start to reward our most loyal and our best users a lot better through this system, right? And that's kind of the key idea. Like a good reward system inside of a game should be rewarding the players who are the most active, the most engaged, the most loyal, the ones who are, really here for the community. And that's the whole point behind the system. So there's a whole ton of back-end tech that will help games achieve that based on, historical data from Pixels and basically like a bunch of prediction and a bunch of data science models that way. So if you're a Pixels player or, a player of a game, your experience stays pretty much the same. Here, Heidi, can you take over really quickly?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we should talk about what happened last week because I think it's a really, really good example of what is possible with Stacked. And honestly, it was just straight comedy. Like I was watching back the video of myself and I didn't know what was going on. Like I don't know why I was just straight up stupid. But you can see this task here. Okay, this task from Stacked to play the bombs, which is like a fun game. Hold on, I should like center myself better. This looks so silly. I can't. Here we go. Oh, no. Sure, it'll have to do. And okay, so I went over to the bombs and I played this game. Here he's back. We can make ourselves a little bigger. And it was really funny. But this is just like really showing the potential because then, so I tweeted about it because I thought it was so funny. And someone made this hilarious graphic of like the chaos that ensued. Because it's like a hard task to complete. Some tasks are like skill-based, time-based, like there's so many different versions. This one is a little bit more on the luck side, right? And so the fact that I got it in like 2 tries on a live stream was wild. And I didn't know what was going on because I'm dumb. I don't know. So I tweeted about it and then Stacked retweeted it because it was crazy. I got 200 pixel from the task. And then in the pixels, I'm not going to call it core game loop, but like the neon zone game loop with the leaderboards, I ranked so high that I got another 100 pixel. And this was just so telling of like the possibilities within Stacked. And then of course Pixels too. And then suddenly so many other people started getting this task and winning it also. So there's so many, like I just also said someone just wanted like some specific potion in the game too. So like those are also items that you could like win through a task. And someone else was saying exploration's hard and getting fishing rods are expensive. Like you could potentially get those through this new system too. Like it's endless opportunities here. So I'm gonna hop back to the game and I'm going to give out a bunch of these stacked UGCs. As I said before, they will link to the website. They do link right now to a coming soon page. And I have enough for everyone. If I run out of 300, I can send myself more and give out more. It's no problem. Don't worry. There's one for everyone on the stream today. And I was going to say something else. I completely forget, but let's get to it. Be nice to me in game because this is already chaos. All right.
So yeah, on the pixel experience and like the game experience, Stacked basically allows you to earn rewards in the way like you don't have to think about it basically. And now we can start to give out better rewards to better users. And I hope you guys know this and feel that right now. So there's a whole nother side of Stack 2, which will come soon in the next day or two. It'll be basically a standalone app also. And the cool thing about Stacked is essentially what you'll be able to see is you'll be able to see a bunch of different rewards that you can earn in other games also. So how it basically works is, when you're playing Pixels, essentially we at Pixels, obviously no user behavior inside of the game. What also happens is, there's like kind of like a stacked data cloud also that is anonymized. There's no personal information associated with it. It's not, you can't even like track a single account inside of it, right? It's basically just like a blur or a blob. But what we do is we start to note like good players inside of the ecosystem. On the back end, you can kind of view it almost like an ad network, right? But it's a different kind of ad network than exists. This is an ad network that doesn't sell third-party data to other user or to other systems. It stays all inside of a stack system, and other games cannot access you as a player directly, right? It's built in like a safe way. But what they can do is in the stack system, they can also start to show you different rewards that you can earn optionally if you wanted to inside of the Stacked app. And that's why it would be interesting for you to go into the Stacked app, because you can also start to see other things that you might be able to do and rewards that are targeted just towards you, specifically based on, different things that you've been doing inside of crypto, inside of pixels, inside of other games. And games can offer you rewards directly. So how the ad industry works right now is games spend money on user acquisition, right? They spend billions and billions of dollars on user acquisition. Monopoly Go spent something like $2 billion on user acquisition in like a year, something crazy like that, right? And right now, if Monopoly Go or a Web2 game, or even us, Pixels, we're going to start to do user acquisition pretty soon too for this game, want to go and acquire new users, what we have to do right now is we have to go and pay Meta or TikTok or Google a ton of money to get new users into the game, right? And how these platforms work is basically they kind of know how much money these games make. They know, okay, these games typically make, $1 per user off the lifetime of a user, or maybe like, $3 to $4 per user. So we're going to charge them, if they're making $3 per user, we're going to charge them $2.90 to go out and acquire a user, right? And that is kind of made up, that number that they make. But basically, they kind of have a rake based or a rent seeking model, right? And it's super, super silly because so much money gets spent on ads that go literally into the pockets of these ad giants. And Stacked is basically trying a new system that is better for the user and better for the game, where instead of spending so much money on Meta and TikTok, the question is like, what if we just gave that money to the users, right? Or what if that spend or that user acquisition budget went directly to the users? Can we still grow the game? And yeah, it's definitely possible, and it's definitely a new channel that we can add. We've been proving it with Pixels. The reason why we're confident in this model is because Pixels now is sustainable, right? Pixels, the ROARs has been over 2 for quite a bit of time now. And what that means is, one, we can give out rewards inside of Pixels. If we switch all the rewards to USDC today, Pixels would be profitable. It would have enough money to go and pay the team and also to like still develop the game, and also some leftover money to go out and actually do paid user acquisition to get new users while still having rewards in the game, right? Like that's kind of the holy grail, which is amazing, right? So this tech stack stacked kind of powers all of that, right? And this is what we're opening up to other games. This is what is going to power the rewards inside of Pixels moving forward. And this also frees up the Pixel team to be able to focus on building out game features that are better. And that's kind of the core of what we're building, like the reason why Stacked exists. One, any game that's adding in ownership or Web3 or NFTs or tokens into a game, they have to solve the same problem. It's unavoidable, right? There's no Web3 game that's really figured out sustainable economics right now, besides a few teams that are experimenting with risk to earn, which is not gambling, but it's close, but it's not. That's not the model that we want to build out, right? Like we want to build out games where you play them like normal and you have a chance to earn still, right? To me, that's what play to earn is versus risk to earn, right? And that's the model we want to bring to other games also, right? So that's kind of the back end behind Stacked and like why we're doing it. So what does that mean for a Pixels player? Somebody who is interested in the Pixel token ecosystem, and maybe somebody like a landowner too. Like, what's this mean, and why should you care? So, one, we've been talking about tokenomic changes for a little bit, but what I can tell you guys is soon you're going to start to see changes to Pixel staking. The first change is you might start to see new things pop up in the Pixel staking dashboard. They're going to be just visible in the beginning stages. You won't be able to stake to them, but you'll start to see Stacked in the Pixel staking dashboard. You'll also see Chubkins in the Pixel staking dashboard, right? So soon you'll be able to stake towards Stacked, which will be very exciting. One thing that we might do, and this is still TBD on how we actually do it, we might transition all of staking to be blended across everything eventually. So if you're staking the Pixel, don't worry about it. We'll make sure that if we make any changes to it, it's still going to like do all of this. But essentially what that means is Pixel eventually, this will probably take a month or two to pull off. Maybe like, it might even take like 3 to 4 months to fully transition there. Pixel will eventually transition to a stake only token. So instead of giving out rewards in Pixel, we'll give out rewards in USDC or stacked points very soon. And what does that mean? So what that means is if you have Pixel, it's not going to be given out, and it's not going to be like inflating as much in the near term. It's going to take a little bit of time to get there. It won't be an instant thing, because what we want to do is we want to slowly start to transition more rewards into USDC or this new system points in the Stacked app. And what that will allow us to do is that will also allow us to start to introduce USDC and US dollar payments. So in Pixels, USDC payments, that's going to take a little bit of time. But we do have a new app, Chubkins, coming out, which Chubkins, if you're trying to get in early access, it's going to get a major update this week, most likely. And it'll probably be ready to scale and actually do like more significant UA and open up to more people next month. Also, side note, we're probably going to open up Chubkins to new geographies soon. Right now, Chubkins, it's only available in early access in like a special tab in the Google Play Store to users in the US. Soon we're going to start to open it up to more users. And you'll actually notice when we introduce Stacked, you actually see its section for Chubkins inside of Stacked. We're not going to be pushing people to like download Chubkins right away, but pretty soon we will be. Pretty soon you'll actually even be able to get rewards in Stacked for Chubkins. So it's a good reason to sign up for Stacked if you're a Pixels player and you're interested in the other things that we're doing. But essentially, Chubkins, it's going to be much easier to transition staking rewards for Chubkins or the Pixel ecosystem into USDC, because Chubkins, the payments will all be in-app purchases natively in the App Store, right? So there's already going to be a USD revenue flow in there, and allows us to kind of transition the rewards for staking and participating in like the bigger staking ecosystem, which is very important to the Pixel protocol, in USDC, right? So if you're a Pixel holder, it's going to change slightly, but that's what is really important behind Stacked. Stacked allows us to be able to give out USDC rewards and do monetization USDC in a way that's sustainable and in a way that allows us to actually do that and grow the amount of USDC that we can give out every single month. It's actually crazy what that's actually going to do for the ecosystem. So yeah, I don't know if everybody fully grasps what that actually means, but this is really a sustainable model, and this is actually like fundamentally sound, which is something that we've been working towards at Pixels the entire time, basically. And I don't really think there's many sustainable, Web3 ecosystems out there. Like, really, if you look at the like numbers, like what Hyperliquid is a sustainable model. Pump Fun is technically a sustainable model. Like, they're generating revenue in a token that's not their own, Solana, and they're able to do things like buybacks via that. All I'll say is essentially when we start to introduce new revenue streams that are not just their native token into the ecosystem, it allows for more mechanisms to like help secure the Pixel protocol.
Athena, accept. What are you doing? Okay, well, come to me later. Someone randomly gave me this giant whale, and I think it's the funniest thing ever. It really does not belong there. But also, guys, please don't give me things because my Cass, I'm not accepting this. I refuse. Nope. I was just about to say, please don't give me things. Cass is on our team, if you didn't know. Guys, I'm sure some of you guys are taking more than one because I literally can't keep track. Please only take one. Vodak, I'm pretty sure I gave you one already, but I'll give you another one just in case I didn't. And you gave me something. Love you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Don't give me things. This is chaos. Chaos. All right.
So somebody said the worst thing in game is the low level, high pixels, high level, low pixels. Yeah, so that's one of the issues that Stacked addresses, and also why we're going to start to transition more of the systems into Stacked. So the task force transition will have to be a gradual one because we want to make sure that we don't mess up the game economics. We have a plan, basically. So here's how the rollout of Stacked is going to work so that we all understand that we're on the same page. Essentially, Stacked will launch with limited partners in the beginning stages because let's talk about the business side, the economics, and, what's actually interesting. So one of the things that we were debating when we are going to be launching Stacked is, how do we launch with enough things for people in Stacked to do, where it's interesting to check every single day, and how do we make like the best possible launch? Now, actually, what I think the best approach is now is more of a soft launch, because when we think about what's actually going to drive revenue for the Stacked ecosystem and Pixel ecosystem, because again, this is all oriented around Pixel, right? In order to actually build a sustainable protocol ecosystem and like achieve the foundation's goal of like making play to earn actually work, sustainable, and grow, we do need to be thinking about sustainable business models as well. Basically, we need revenue to grow so that the revenue can like support team, and then also, the Pixel ecosystem does need to secure the network, and the rewards need to come from somewhere. They'll likely come from various sources. Sorry, again, you have to be so careful when you talk about these things. But essentially, I hope you guys get the gist. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to go over some people's heads. But essentially, in order to actually build a token, you need to view it like a business. Now, a token in the protocol is not a business, right? It's very different. And the Pixel token is backing the Pixel protocol, right? The Pixel protocol, essentially what it is trying to grow, play to earn. The Pixel protocol probably does need to do user acquisition in terms of like running paid ads with US dollars. Like that money has to come from somewhere to like run paid ads on Chupkins, on Pixels, on Stacked, right? If it's able to bring in US dollar revenue, one, it's able to run paid UA. Two, Pixel protocol needs to have stakers inside of the ecosystem for it to work, right? There's a small governance layer, and there's also a way, it's small, but it's actually also how the system works of allowing users to kind of vote where Pixel tokens go, right? That part needs to be secured, and we need adequate rewards there. That comes from USD as well, right? So that's kind of the idea.
Okay,
But,
I just traded Sophia 100 of them because I cannot do this alone. So Sophia will also be handing them out. But once again, please only take one. Be a good person because there's so many people here that want one. Yes, we do have enough for everyone, but like it's a nightmare. So Sophia has a few to give out too. Her name is literally just Sophia in the game. I haven't heard from her after I traded them either. So hopefully she knows what's up. But you can trade Sophia too.
do we need to create a new account for Stacked, or can we link the Pixels account? I think the experience is you make a new account in Stacked and you link the Pixels account right now. We might try to make that more seamless eventually. But it's interesting because essentially what happens on the back end is every single game has its own individual account system inside of Stacked. So you have to manually link the accounts for every game that you add. That way it's kind of giving permission for Stack to kind of look at that game data, right? Like it's a consent between you and Stacked. It's like, okay, I want to tell you that I am using this game, and because of that, we'll be able to give you rewards inside of Stacked for that game, right? So yeah, there is manual account linking right now, but it's going to be easy to do through each game. Like there'll be a button inside of Pixels that allows you to create and link the account. And in Stacked also, you'll have the option to link the account as well. So your experience will basically be, you'll either do it from Pixels or you'll go to Stack.xyz, create an account and link it. How many rewards will be allocated in Stacked versus the current task board? Right now, I think it's about like 20% of rewards, something like that, are allocated in the Stacked system versus I think like 50% in task board, some in Neon Zone, some in merchant ships. Eventually, we're going to have this all transition to a Stacked system that kind of maintains the same systems inside of the game in the same way that they work.
Okay, I don't know where this VIP notion started. We are not giving out VIP right now, but we are giving out the Stacked UGC. I have some, Sophia has some. I think most people here have gotten one, but if you haven't yet, we'll try to get one to you. You can trade with me. I'm Lemonhead or Sophia. But yeah, there's no VIP going out. I feel like some people were just joking and lying, and now it's like this narrative that's just spread through the crowd. But we do give out VIP often. We probably will do some giveaways coming up with the whole Stacked release and whatnot. So stay tuned. I feel like we should do a really big giveaway. We've done a massive giveaway in a while. Give away like a land or something. It's been a minute since we did that. Probably not another tractor, but I feel like it would be so hard now to do that. I feel like our user base is so international that I would get someone that lives on like a remote island in the middle of nowhere and I have to figure out how to ship a tractor to them. Oh man. Ooh, a fish. Thank you.
Okay, so there's two questions that are pretty related actually. I think they're good questions to talk about. Now, again, anytime that we talk about these things, I can't say everything basically. But yeah, so somebody asked, also the pixel stake idea only, I don't know, it sounds like sending dominance to unlock getters, investors, team advisor would be cool to see how this part plays a role as well. Somebody said, how much of the token is promised to the team? Are you concerned about sell pressure at all? So two concepts here. One is, none of the tokenomics have changed. All the tokenomics that were initially announced at our Binance release, we've actually stuck to them very perfectly. There's a reason why these on-chain sleuths don't talk about us when it comes to like bad things, basically, because we have been very honest about tokens. All of the token allocations are on-chain investing, and the team's been very responsible with all this stuff essentially, and we haven't like misled people here. So the tokenomics, they're all on-chain, and yeah, there's people asking about basically this concept of like overhanging supply still, and that was a big criticism of the Pixel token in the beginning stages. So we're 2 years into unlocks now, and there's still like some time left, right? I think about, I don't know how much circulating supply is out. It might be about 50% now. So there's still more circulating supply out there. Now, a lot of that circulating supply that's still overhanging is ecosystem, treasury, and like other areas too, which if we can start to ease emissions here when it comes to that, that actually knocks out a large amount of circulating supply overhang, right? Or the ecosystem stuff, maybe we can turn it into vPixels so it doesn't add sell pressure, all of this. Now, when we think about incentive alignment, this is a very important thing to think about. It's important for the team to have some stake in the ecosystem, right? It'd be really silly if not. Like, then the team wouldn't care, right? Maybe the team could do it for like the greater good, but like honestly, I think a good quote from Warren Buffett is, show me the incentives, I'll show you the outcome. Like, you do want the team to care about an outcome, right? You do want, it's actually probably good for a team to have like vested interest, right? Imagine if teams in Web3 are unlocked from day one. Have you ever seen a good outcome with that? Like, what you typically see with founders is they push for total unlocks and investors push for total unlocks day one. I think like a couple of VC firms that are prominent in Web3 were pushing for that. They do it selfishly, to be completely honest, right? Like the Pixels team was locked for a year. The Pixels team also saw the token go down a good amount, right? And they saw, on paper gains go down, I think like from a peak of $1 to like, much, much less. And the team wasn't able to sell. The team never did. Team didn't do any locked token selling. The foundation had to approve that. The foundation did not approve any of that before the unlocks, right? Like the team was very honest and like good about that, basically. So the team is also incentivized, therefore, to see the Pixel ecosystem do well, essentially. And having team unlocks and long-term stake, it's probably a good thing for the ecosystem, right? Because we can think long-term and we can think about how to build real systems that are, actually going to work here, right? And there's still stake and there's still incentive to do so. But when it comes to overhanging supply, it's something I think about a lot. What I'll say is, when I think about building a successful token, I do think making sure that overhanging supply is sucked up as much as possible is a very important and healthy thing. And it's something that we're going to try to do as much as we can, basically. Like, truthfully, the best scenario for a token, and I'm not talking about the Pixel token specifically here, the best scenario for a token, I think, is really to have, no overhanging investor supply, advisor supply, and just have team there, right? So if you can find a way to make that happen where you also suck up, in addition, like ecosystem treasury and all of that, like emissions, and have team vested over a long time, that's probably the best scenario, right? And we're going to think through how to do that. Now, what I'll say, and like what I tell people about this, is you only have these options and you only have the ability to do this stuff when the actual foundation is sustainable, right? So if the ecosystem's generating no revenue, if the ecosystem has no product behind it, if the ecosystem has like no hope for the future, then yeah, you're going to continue to see sell pressure month on month, and you're going to have to rely on hype or like cycles in order to like ease into that sell pressure. Now, our goal at the Pixel Foundation is we aim to build something genuinely useful that a lot of people use. And if you build something that is genuinely useful that a lot of people use, normally you have something that will be generating positive economics. And when you have the economics, you can play around and like figure things out, basically. So that's a really long answer. There's a nuance that you have to do to talk about this, but that's kind of the idea.
Oh my gosh, this is so hectic. Okay, I think we
So
need to
I get you're trying to chop our reward part, but not the whole thing, which I think is odd. So that's actually not the case. What we're gonna do is we're gonna change rewards in the USDC, so we can still reward the community and players in the same way, right? And because we have a rewards model that's sustainable, we can actually give out more rewards and scale them in the same way. So we don't want to, when it comes to actual dollar amount of rewards, change that. It's not like we're trying to basically make it so that no one can earn anymore inside of the game. That's kind of the whole point of pixels in the ecosystem, right? So the idea there basically is we can still reward in our players. That's kind of the whole point. And then we can start to slowly transition more of the interest into staking. So how do you build out interest in staking? Well, you need yield, right? In order to even think about yield, you need yield to come from somewhere, right? And how I think about things is I think about like building product that people use, basically.
Okay, we're on 3850. Okay, come to 3850, and I'll trade you another stacked UGC.
So are you going to adjust the creator code to USDC as well then? So here's again the rollout of Stacked. So Stacked, it's going to be available very soon. This will be the last day made that we talk about Stacked before it's out, basically. And Stacked has some rudimentary creator stuff inside of it. So this is the fun part finally when Stacked is out. Like, I think I talked about this a little bit in the last AMA, but essentially, to build something that works, you need to find what's called product market fit, right? And there's two things you need to do. You need a product and you need a market, right? So if you don't have a product, you're not gonna be able to find the right market, right? So the product needs to come out first. And this is the fun part. When the product is finally out, you're probably going to see a bunch of different pivots of Stacked. And this is where the team is going to start to really grind to figure out where is Stacked the most useful to the most people, driving the most impact, and doing all of that. So we have rudimentary creator stuff inside of Stacked at launch. There will be some rewards for creating TikToks and other content that you can do, right? Truthfully, I would like the full stack of creator codes, creator support, referrals, all of that to live inside of Stacked. These will be some of the features that start to launch after the Stacked release. When we think about Stacked v1.1, after Stacked is out, the first major features that we'll probably start to add to it, in addition to like the baseline, and like improving the offers in it, working with new partners on the user facing side, we'll be adding in leaderboards and a shop. But then things after that will probably be going deeper into creator side of things and all of that. Somebody said, Luke, stacked rewards should include animal, forestry, and exploration potions. So yeah, here's the other part of Stacked too. So Stacked, we're launching with most of the stuff that's inside of the game now. There might be a few new rewards inside of the game. So there's a few different parts of Stacked, right? And there's a few different teams managing different parts. One of the things that we're going to start to do is we're going to start to launch way more rewards inside of Stacked for the games you guys are currently playing. The easiest way for us to iterate with rewards in Stacked, and this is kind of the promise that we're making, like why we're like, okay, getting Stacked out, it's serious, is because now Stacked also becomes live ops, right? And this will be a lot of the live ops of the future of Pixels too, because we can actually do live ops inside of Stacked. So we can change game behavior, do things like seasonal, leaderboards. We can do a lot of game mechanics just through Stacked, right? And things like adding in new rewards inside of Pixels in Stacked for different parts of the game. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. So Stacked, we're launching with some rewards right now. On the back end, you'll probably learn about it more this next week. There's a lot of really cool tech behind it, where essentially what we're working on is like automating, giving out different rewards for different types of the gameplay. It's going to be way, way easier for us to add in new rewards for different types of the gameplay moving forward. And this is stuff that you're going to start to see coming in. It probably won't be daily at first. You'll probably start to see new rewards come in like on a weekly basis. But the goal is, once Stacked is out, to get that iteration down to new rewards and new missions and new quests every single day for users and make it very, very individualized, right? So it's going to take probably a month to get there, I would think. And then yeah, that'll be like the experimentation basically. So when I talk about the Stacked release, again, one of the things we were debating was how big we go with the Stacked release. It's more important for the team to get it out. And honestly, the approach right now isn't it isn't trying to get like 1 million users inside of Stacked tomorrow. It's more getting the tech ready, experimenting with you guys, and then when it works, it's going to work. There will be a flywheel there, right? We'll start to pour more user acquisition into Chubkins and into Pixels. So we can grow Stacked in 3 different ways. We can run paid ads directly on Stacked in the App Store and Meta, TikTok, Facebook, and get new users in that way. We can do it through Pixels and Chubkins also when we start to run paid UA funnels there. And then we can also do it natively inside of Stacked, which will start to offer more support for soon. Soon you're going to start to see referral rewards for Stacked and like gamification inside of Stacked also. The cool thing about Stacked is we can give rewards for Stacked inside of Stacked and like build out meta layers. Like there's like meta layers you can have where it's like complete 3 Stacked offers. So you can do like 3 different things inside of Pixels, or 1 in Pixels, 1 in Chubkins, 1 in Dungeons, and get rewards for that also. It's cool. Very important question. So thanks for the details about Stacked, but we're really curious about what you're building in core Pixels, new events and mechanics. Yeah, so again, what's Stacked, we're doing a lot of announcements here because the team on core Pixels is still working on new stuff in Core Pixels. And what Stacked has unlocked is the team in Core Pixels previously had to be thinking about everything. So we've had game designers on Core Pixels for a long time, right? And like so much of their time was stuck in Taskboard. Like we couldn't move on and allow them to build out new game mechanics until they figured out Taskboard. And Taskboard was so hard to nail down because of all of these problems. Because Taskboard, what it had to do, because it was the main faucet of Pixel, was it had to make sure that it was allocating rewards to the right players. It was not the best system to do so. Now that we have Stacked, we can have more. We can basically just have the data science team and the Stack team focus on rewards, and the game team can focus on core game features. And it's freed up so much stress, so much time on their end to actually build out new stuff for the game. And that's what they've been working on. We haven't been announcing it or talking about it yet because we're giving them the time to actually release it. But you can expect major updates in Core Pixels now pretty soon. What I'll say is they're working on end game features right now. So they're working on new resources, new recipes, new things to do for the players who are like really deep into the game right now. That will be the next major release inside of Pixels. Then after that, we're going to work on the new user experience. So the new user experience is the one thing that's blocking running paid user acquisition inside of Core Pixels. So if you go into Pixels right now, it's very confusing from a new user perspective. You don't really know what to do, especially if you're not a part of the community. That's what we need to address next. Yeah,
This is
Stacked is basically a supercharged task board. That's
I
the
like
right
it.
way to view it.
I like it. Okay, one other thing. Someone asked if we're gonna have an Easter event, and we are. And the reason I'm just straight up telling you and not trying to be all secretive about it is because I just caught wind of what the event is gonna be from the core team. And this is the part where I'm not gonna tell you, but it's like, huh? Like usually Easter's all like cute bunnies. Last year it was Sophia's egg hunt. This year it's gonna be like something else. We're like 8 minutes out or 7. It's been hectic, crazy. I can't believe it's gone by so quickly. So make sure you come to this land if you haven't gotten a stacked UGC yet. And then hold on, let me get the number. 3850. Make sure you come here, 3850. I'm going to keep giving some out now. And then Luke, do you want to quickly remember we were going to mention that like bounty? Or do you want me to talk about it?
Oh, yeah. We'll come back to this. This is a very important question because this is what we're trying to get at with the future of Pixel. And I'll just like repeat it again so that you guys understand. And like, again, this was a piece of getting there. So yeah, essentially there's a little bit of drama going on with Loot Rush right now, right? So rentals inside of Pixels have been like a very important part for the player experience. And, we've been using a third party Loot Rush to help manage them, or honestly, we weren't using them. Just the community was using them, right? Now, Loot Rush announced that they're shutting down, which sucks,
Rentals.
obviously.
They're
They're shutting
down
down rentals.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sucks, obviously, because a lot of the community was using that. It's funny because Web3, it's all supposed to be about immutability, ownership, and like, yeah, there's funny things like that that are clearly not so immutable. What I'll say is like the Pixels team, we know how important it is to the community for rentals. The team is like super caught up. If we wanted to go and build out that functionality ourselves, it wouldn't be coming out anytime soon. So I think what we want to do is, we know there's a lot of developers inside of the community, and this is actually a great use of whether it be community treasury or coming from the ecosystem budget. But we might offer a bounty, and maybe even like put up a proposal for somebody in the community to go and build out like a rental equivalent, right? Because it's clearly something the community values. It's something that would help the community a lot. And this is probably where like ecosystem funds and things like that should go, right? So we'll probably put up like we'll figure out some way for people to put up a bid. Like we know there's developers in the Pixel ecosystem that could probably build this out now. And essentially we'll help fund it. We'll figure out like the mechanism to do that. But yeah, if you're a Pixel developer and you want to help build out rentals, essentially we'll figure out a way to get you paid for it. We might have like a few different people submit proposals.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you're like high level interested right now, just so that we can gauge interest in like who is interested in this and like to what capacity and stuff, like pop in Discord, let a community team member know. If you know someone else, to ping them, say that we're, gonna have this what do you call it? Bounty program? I don't know, thing happening. So yeah, let us know. Yeah, just ping the community team so we can kind of gauge who and like how many, and then we can like see how we want to move forward with it. But it could be really fun. Okay. 4 minutes. I've got 67 of these UGCs left. I don't know how many Sophia has. This has been totally hectic. So I'm on, shoot, I forget the freaking line.
Yeah, there's a few important questions we should still answer. So somebody's,
go on.
yeah, so somebody noticed you added the USDC tab when you receive pixels for staking in core pixels. Will you sell pixels for USDC to pay out rewards? No. So that's the exact opposite of the point of what we're trying to do here, right? So essentially all these changes that we're making towards the pixel ecosystem when it comes to USDC and these things are to eliminate sell pressure on the token, right? So it would be completely counterpoint to sell pixel to pay out USDC rewards. So then where does that pixel come from, right? Well, this is the key thing, right? So in order to give out USDC rewards, there needs to be USDC or US dollar inflow, right? So it's going to take a little bit of time for core pixels to be able to do that, but we wanted to start testing the system. One thing that we're probably going to add in core pixels soon is optional USDC payments. And that will be some source of the revenue, and also credit card payments when we can. Now, adding credit card payments to a Web3 game is not as easy as you would expect. You can't just add credit card payments straight up normally, because the credit card payment processor will ban you because they just don't like Web3. They don't like the risk profile associated with it. And that becomes very hard. So that's also partly why we built Stacked, because now if you use Stacked for all of your rewards, you can have the rewards live outside of the game. There's two options when you're giving out rewards inside of Stacked. You can have people claim in the game natively, or you can have people claim in the Stacked app and have it be a separate experience. So Pixels right now, you're allowed to claim the rewards in the game natively. Eventually, we might transition most of the claims and cash out functionality in Pixels into Stacked. It's going to be a slow transition. We're not going to make you guys do that right away. But truthfully, that might be where it goes eventually. Because if we do that, what we can do is we can remove the pixel in core pixels from the game natively. And then we can start adding credit card payments and other sources of USD revenue that we can then use for staking rewards, right? That's kind of the vision, the long term there. Chubkins will have that out of the box. Chubkins is the Pets app because it uses Apple Pay and like native in-app purchases already. And then that one can start to distribute USDC for that reason, right? So that's kind of the idea there. So we added USDC just to show you guys, hey, it's in the system. We also started testing it so we can give out USDC rewards instead of staking gaming ecosystem. And even in the staking system, you're going to start to see new stuff pop up in there, like Stacked and Chubkins soon. And that's kind of the idea where we're going. Do you think Stacked will be the best way to onboard Web 2 players in Web 3, not only Pixels? So here's what you need to onboard Web 2 players into Web 3, right? One is a lot of Web 2 players don't want to be onboarded into Web 3. Like, think about it. There's different types of players. You guys here at Pixels, you guys are interested in Web 3 and you're interested in holding a token. Now, not everyone will be, right? And we shouldn't make that stop people from playing the games and contributing to the ecosystem also, right? Like if there's a Web 2 person out there that wants to spend money inside of Pixels and that still is helping secure the ecosystem through USDC and other areas, why stop them, right? Two, it should be a funnel though still, where it's like, okay, they see the ecosystem, they're seeing how it works out, and then if they want to purchase Pixel, sure, go ahead, right? And use it for staking or use it for like maybe some in-game purchases perhaps. But yeah, that's kind of the approach where it's like make it easy and like not shove it in their face, and then give them a gradual funnel, but still allow them to contribute. Now, the other thing that Stack can do is Stack essentially turns any game into a Web3 game, right? Because it allows you to add in real rewards into a game and real ownership into a game without having to have those games build all of those rails, right? Stacked handles the rails, it handles the cash out, it handles all of the infrastructure associated with building out a Web3 game so that they don't need to do that anymore. And what you can actually do with Stacked, and what we'll probably try to pursue after we have Stacked, live for a month or two, is we'll start to approach Web2 games to see if they're interested in using this. Now, the cool thing is, you might say, why would a Web2 game ever do this? Well, Web2 games are already implementing this with some competitors, like potential competitors inside of just Web2. Like there's a few companies doing Web2 play to earn right now. They're actually having some success. In fact, there's this company called Just Play that was just acquired by one of the biggest Korean developers. So there's Web2 companies out there that are kind of proving the model. Now, where do we compete and like why are we potentially a better solution? Well, one, if you've ever used some of those Web2 play to earn platforms, basically what they do is they give you impossible tasks to do and like pennies. Like I saw a Reddit post about Just Play, and there was some girl that was bragging about earning like $1.50 after a month, right? And if you're playing Pixels, it's a little bit of a different experience, right? So yeah, it's just basically is like a better system we built out in Pixels, backed by deeper tech. And then there's like really cool other layers on top that we're adding. Like we showed you guys what like the stacked agents look like last week, but it's a much better developer experience too, basically. But the idea is basically we'll also start to work with Web2 games when we start to prove the model next as well.
Okay, we are at time. I still have a bunch. I'm going to go back to Terravilla and just see who doesn't have one yet. So many of you guys are lying to me, and it actually makes me sad because I know a bunch of you got like 2 and are still asking for more. So stop doing that. But I'm in Terravilla Central now. So if you have not gotten one of these fun, what did we name it? It was like stacks on stacked statue. I thought that was really good. So if you haven't gotten the stacked on stacked statue yet, please let me know. And I'll send you one right now.
Sounds just like your system. So play to earn, it's funny because we've been approaching the Web3 mindset. There's been a couple other companies that approached it more from the Web2 mindset at first. And what I've always said is I firmly believe play to earn will work, right? And it's true, it will. One, Pixels has already proved it out now, right? Like I think we can confidently say, yeah, we can make play to earn work and sustainable. Two, there's people who are starting to get it working in Web2 as well. Now, again, their systems are very different. They're more UA oriented. Like basically they almost like pay you for testing an app and like trying it out for the first time. Monopoly Go actually put a ton of their budget into not a ton of their budget, like their budget was $2 billion, but they put like decent money into another Web2 play to earn platform, but it was more oriented around the installs, right? Not actually playing the game, not actually engaging with it. And yeah, we just have deeper systems here. And again, what's great is one, like this is a Web3 native system too. Like you don't get to have stake and ownership in these Web2 competitors. You do inside of, because this is a protocol, right? You do inside of Pixels. That's the interesting part, right? All right. What about the Pets app? Yeah, so again, the Pets app, it's called Chubkins. It's in early access right now, so you actually can download it on Android. What we're going to be starting to do soon is we want to open it up to a new country. So if we do open it up to a new country, give us some feedback. What's the next country we should open up Chubkins for early access? When we open up to that next country, we're optimistic about what it's going to do. We're going to start to add in rewards and stacked for that country also. Yeah, let us know who we should open it for. Chubkins, it's super fun. We'll start to preview because the next update that's coming out I think it should be this week. It's going to change the gameplay a lot. Like it's going to get significantly better. There'll be one more, maybe 2 more updates after that. that are in the works right now that are going to be like making the game complete. Right now, Chubkins, I wouldn't say it's a complete game, even though the metrics are actually looking pretty good when it comes to all of the stuff. It'll be a complete game pretty soon.
Sorry, someone just said, "Can I have a second tire stack?" It's not. It's not a tire stack. It doesn't look like that. Come on. Oh man.
If Roars is over 2, why not just scale Pixel? Why this stacked side quest? So that's a really good question. So that's the whole point of stacked also. Like, honestly, we're focusing on first party games first. Like, we're really not going to put too much time and effort when it comes to the go to market into these other partners. Like, it's something that could be interesting to scale with. When I think about what is the best chance of getting Pixel ecosystem and stacked and our games to, like, 10 million ARR, a million DAU, right? What is our best chance of doing that as quick as possible? Well, really, it's probably not partnering with other people. It's probably our own first party games, right? Because we control the economics, we control the funnels, we're able to tweak them more easily, not relying on other people. The other game parts, it's interesting. And this is where the, pivot of product market fit will come in. Like, maybe we did build something that is genuinely interesting and will generate a lot of revenue for the ecosystem that way. But our best first chance is our first party games. Now, in order to actually scale Pixels, we need to be able to scale it with mobile UA. There's no path for Pixels scaling to a bigger user base without doing mobile UA. So we need to have it. We need to have stacked for that, basically. Same thing with Chubkins too. If we want to scale the mobile UA and we want to have rewards inside of the game, we need stacked. So we built this for us first, and this will be like the most effort that we put into the go to market. And if other teams are able to find it useful, that's great. We're going to start to slowly open it up to other teams, but it's not going to be the initial strategy. Like, that was one area that we were debating first, like go way hard into like the partnerships and the B2B side and the sales. Again, when I think about where our time and energy is best spent, it's scaling our own first party games first and maybe select partners in the beginning stages.
Okay.
Some people are saying we should have Chubkins in Brazil. Some people are saying Philippines.
Solid choices.
And okay, one last question. How are you approaching Cybele and Web 2? You mentioned that Pixel has anti-Cybele system, how it looks in stacked. So truthfully, the best anti-Cybele is actually just to reward the right people from the very beginning instead of trying to approach anti-Cybele. And that's where you need like very strong reward attribution. You need like kind of this ad network technology that you already can like build an understanding of users. You need prediction to understand what users might do and like a demographic data as well. And that's what stacked is really doing. The anti-Cybele is important. But truthfully, the more important part is looking at it from the exact opposite lens. Are you considering that building stacked and other apps will take too much time? So stacked is built, guys. Stacked is built. It's launching. It's already live in Pixels. And yeah.
Will cast reply.
All right. And I think that's all the time that we have today. We got to get back to work so we can get this out. But yeah, I appreciate everybody here today.
All right. I'll keep giving these out until I'm done. But yeah, hectic times. This is the last AMA before the stacked release. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you're subscribed to the Pixels post. Make sure you're following Stacked on Twitter, stacked_app on Twitter. And we will see you guys when Stacked is live. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.